Okay, imagine standing outside a city that has just completely given up. Inside the walls, fear has totally replaced faith. Survival seems, well, impossible. And you're trapped on the outside. Today, we're diving into this explainer to look at a genuinely mind-blowing historical account of four guys who had literally nothing left to lose. I mean, they weren't soldiers, they weren't prophets, and they certainly weren't kings. They were starving outcasts completely rejected by society. And yet somehow, they became the absolute center of this incredible rescue that nobody saw coming. Let's get right into it. To really understand this whole thing, we have to start with this desperate, honestly profound question asked by four forgotten lepers. So they're sitting totally isolated outside the gates of Samaria during this terrifying siege, right? They're completely cut off. And even if they could somehow get inside the city walls, there was zero food waiting for them anyway. So looking squarely at their literally impossible situation, they ask a deeply pragmatic question. Why stay here until we die? Which brings us to our first section, a city without hope. Now, what's so fascinating here is how they used this painfully honest logic. It's almost like ancient game theory. Think about it. If they stayed at the gate, they'd starve. If they somehow went into the city, they'd still starve. The only variable they could actually change was to walk directly toward the enemy camp. Now, sure, in the ancient world, defecting to the enemy during a siege meant almost certain death. But standing still guaranteed a 0% chance of survival. Moving forward, well, that at least offered a fractional sliver of hope. Moving right along to section 2, the courageous first step. Realizing they had absolutely nothing to lose, these four outcasts actually took that very first step toward the enemy camp as evening approached. But here's where it gets wild. According to the historical account, an incredible shift was happening behind the scenes. Before these guys even got close to the camp, the text tells us God intervened. He caused the massive Armenian army to hear this roaring, thunderous sound of chariots and advancing soldiers. The enemy was absolutely convinced that Israel had hired powerful allies, so total panic sweeps through the ranks, and the whole army just up and flees before the lepers even arrive. That leads us right into the next phase of our story, the miraculous discovery. So, expecting mortal danger, these four men walk into the camp, and they're met with just complete, eerie silence. The soldiers had bolted so fast for their lives that they literally left everything behind. We're talking tents, weapons, clothing, silver, gold, horses, and just huge amounts of food. For four guys who were fully anticipating death, they had suddenly stumbled into the ultimate ancient all-you-can-eat buffet. They ate until they were totally stuffed, grabbed silver and gold to go hide, and then happily repeated the whole shebang in a second tent. They were just completely overwhelmed by this massive abundance. But right in the middle of this massive feast, something super important happens. Their consciences kick in. One of them looks at the others and hits them with a really hard truth. He says, "We are not doing right. This is a day of good news, and we are keeping it to ourselves." It's this crucial light bulb moment where they realize, wait, we absolutely cannot hoard all this stuff while our own people just a short walk away are literally starving to death. So they rushed back to the city gates to shout that the enemy had totally vanished. Now, at first, the king was super skeptical. I mean, he figured it was a clever trap. But after he sent some scouts out to verify, they found the road literally littered with abandoned weapons and supplies. And once the starving city heard that, they rushed out. In a matter of hours, complete deliverance had come to an entire nation, all through four men that society had completely overlooked. Unbelievable, right? All right, let's transition from the history and look at part 4, 3 timeless lessons. Let's see how this actually applies to us today. The real beauty of this explainer is what it reveals about human nature and courage today. We're going to break down 3 timeless principles derived straight from this miraculous journey. Breakthrough begins with a step, God uses the overlooked, and blessings are meant to be shared. Let's look at the first one. Okay, lesson number 1, breakthrough begins with movement. Notice that the lepers didn't have any sort of guarantee of success. Their breakthrough didn't start when they safely reached the camp. It began the literal second they decided to move. You know, so many of us wait around for 100% certainty before making a tough decision. But this whole account proves that faith and action often have to happen long before we can actually see the miracle. Think about the sheer power of just taking one step in your own life. Instead of waiting for every single uncertainty to disappear, taking action literally changes the variables. Just one courageous conversation might restore a broken relationship. One simple application might launch a whole new career. Or one honest prayer, one single act of obedience, could throw open doors that seemed permanently padlocked. That brings us to lesson 2. God uses overlooked people. The heroes of this rescue weren't famous leaders, they weren't brilliant tacticians or powerful warriors. They were rejected, starving outcasts. And it's such a powerful reminder that God repeatedly chooses unlikely, totally ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. So hey, if you've ever felt underestimated or forgotten by the world, remember that your current circumstances absolutely do not determine your ultimate usefulness. And the final lesson: blessings are meant to be shared. Look, the lepers could have easily kept their jackpot a total secret, but they recognized that enjoying all that abundance while others suffered was just flat out wrong. The greatest blessings we receive from God, whether that's hope, wisdom, or material abundance, they are never intended to just stop with us. They're meant to flow right through us to others. The overarching theme of this entire text is that God is working in ways you cannot see. While the city saw pure hopelessness and the lepers saw desperation, God was already positioning them for a massive purpose. Even when the enemy camp looked terrifying and untouchable, it was actually completely empty, just waiting for someone brave enough to walk toward it. The impossible was just a stage to display His power. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one huge question to think about. What impossible situation are you facing today? Whatever it is, doors might already be opening that you cannot yet see. Keep trusting. Take that first faithful step forward, even if your knees are knocking together. And when your breakthrough finally arrives, don't you dare keep it to yourself.